Bahama Islands. They are in studio, and I'm really excited about introducing them to you and getting the movie started. Did you get your popcorn out today? And truth be told, it's a very entertaining movie, and we're doing some things that put us on the map in terms of history. And as a part of that experience as well, understanding that there is a point to this conversation. There is a point to the movie Broken Trust. In studio with me, I have the writer of that movie, Lily Mackey, also the producer, Tristan Ewing, and one of the members of the cast in the person of Gesna Dalman. I begin with the producer, Mr. Ewing. Yes, there it is. Call it a Freudian moment. Mr. Ewing. Tristan, welcome to The Things That Matter.
It's a blessing to be on the show, Kirk Johnson. It's a blessing to be on the show, and to all the radio listeners out there in Radio Land, it's a blessing to be before you.
Excellent. Well, certainly today, as we engage in conversation, we're going to get to know you personally, and certainly get to know and experience the movie that is Broken Trust. Now, also, I have in studio the author of the movie Broken Trust in the person of Lily Mackey. Welcome to The Things That Matter.
Thanks for having us.
Your movie is, the writing behind the movie is quite dramatic. It's in your face.
It is. It's because that's what we're experiencing in society now. Someone told me it's pretty violent. I told them, have you seen what is going on in society right now? It is very violent. It is very brutal.
It's intense.
It's very intense.
As I sat down and I watched Broken Trust, I was like, whoa. I felt like I was there.
Situations like Broken Trust, for example, a scene where the pastor beats his wife. Those are stories that we hear on a daily basis, where people who are in leadership position aren't practicing what they preach. They go out there, they smile, but then when they go home, they're a totally different character, and no one can believe that these situations happen, but they really do occur.
Well, they are unfortunately happening for real in our country, and one of the members of the cast, Gesna Dalman. Welcome to The Things That Matter.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Johnson, and good afternoon to Bahamas. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, we're going to get into your character, we're going to get into the movie, because there were some really intriguing things. I call it intrigue because it was so real, and it gave people a reason to stop and think, your role in the movie, what did it mean to you?
Well, my role in the movie is the classical case of what we experience, right? We have friends who join friends or tend to be as backup for friends in situations either to retaliate against somebody, but not knowing what the situation is about. They didn't ask any questions. The only thing they knew is that their boy said, oh, this dude, man, he gone bothered me or blah, blah, blah. And this dude. They don't know what the dude did. Neither did they take the time to ask their friend, okay, explain to me the situation. What happened here? And I'm that classical guy who goes along with the pastor in the movie, who confronts Eric, who is Tristan here.
And it happens with some really dramatic. I don't want you to tell the whole movie because we're playing the movie here on The Things That Matter. But to give folks an idea of just how intense this movie is, before you came into the studio, I said, for anyone that's younger than 18 years of age, get the permission of an adult, literally. And there's no foul language. But in being honest, it's an intense movie. You're captured by what it speaks to, and the story it carries us.
Well, as a matter of fact, right? I won't call the name of where I work. It'll probably be a free plug-in, which you probably won't do. I work in a store in the mall where we have television set up in our window, and persons can pass and they see the movies, they can view it. And I had a gentleman that stopped at me recently. He was referring to the part where the pastor beat his wife. And he said his daughter was disturbed by it. He said, man, you need to take that off. And it's like, hey, these are situations that occur for real in this country. Even when I saw it for the first time, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it. I was like, hold on, does this really happen? Does pastors really beat up their wives and all of this drama goes on? We don't hear about it.
And it's not so much so that we're saying that, okay, see your pastor, yes, that pastor's beating somebody. But the point is, there are people in society who are either on the giving end or receiving end, and in that case, violence. And of course, the movie is even more than that. Tristan, just before we began the movie, here on The Things That Matter, what's the point for you, the reason, the motive behind deciding to do such a dramatic movie? There's no fairy tale in Wonderland kind of movie. This thing is in your face. It says, this is what's going on. And we're not talking about in the United States or in Canada. We're talking about the Bahamas.
Right. But what really, I'd say, more so inspired me to do such a movie in such a time as this is because of, when we look at what's going on in society today, like we said, and even with relationships, there are a lot of relationships that people have, and they just don't know how to resolve problems or resolve disputes. Like, if they just don't know how to resolve them, so they just end up turning into violence and stuff like that.
And in the movie, you have persons who are real to life. There's one or two persons I think three persons who are part of the Road Improvement Project. There's the pastor in the church. There is all these characters that we can relate to as a part of society.
Right.
Well, we're about to take a quick break and come back and begin the movie. As a part of that, I want to engage our listeners to go to their Facebook account, to YouTube, to watch this, because we're watching this together. What address should they go to?
Well, they could add me at Regal Shine on Facebook, or they could just go to YouTube and type in Broken Trust. It should come up.
Excellent. So on YouTube, go to Broken Trust.
Official.
I've also, Broken Trust Official.
Yeah.
Official.
So YouTube, Broken Trust Official. And then also, as you mentioned, they can add you. There's a process in adding you because you have to accept.
Right.
So on our Facebook page for the show, /The Things That Matter 242, I've already added a link to your show on the site, so folks can go there and open the page. Let's get ready for a journey into the history in the making, right here on The Things That Matter on Guardian Radio 96.9. When we come back live, Broken Trust. We'll be back right after this.